Sean Hannity also said, I heard these reports that they might even wear MAGA gear about Antifa. So
Who do you hear it from?
Let's get into it. What a week. This week, the January 6th committee released the text messages sent to Trump's former White House chief of staff, Mark Meadows, revealing that various people close to the president, including Donald Trump Jr., Republican politicians, and Fox News hosts, begged Trump to condemn the Capitol riot as it happened, undercutting conservative attempts to downplay the seriousness of January 6th. In one exchange, Don Jr. texted, "He's got to condemn this ASAP. The Capitol Police tweet is not enough." Meadows replied, "I am pushing it hard. I agree." Something tells me that Don Jr. has sent many a plaintive text to his father's underlings over the years. Tell Dad to condemn the insurrection. Tell Dad to have a Merry Christmas. Tell Dad I'm getting divorced. Tell Dad I feel so completely alone it's overwhelming. That in the silence of my breathing and the buzzing of the blood in my ears, I don't know if I will ever feel okay again. I don't know if I know how to feel okay. Don't feel bad for him. I'm about to say it's not his fault he doesn't know how to love, but it's not his fault he doesn't know how to love. Should we feel bad for him? No. What does compassion towards John Jr. cost us? Nothing. What's a concession? What's it a concession to? What is our compassion such a concession to? You know, nothing. Something to think about. He sucks. Committee Vice Chair Liz Cheney said this. She said, "These texts leave no doubt. The White House knew exactly what was happening at the Capitol. Members of Congress, the press, and others wrote to Mark Meadows as the attack was underway." She continued, "But questions remain. For example, what did Giuliani intend to communicate when he texted 125 men's room icon emojis to President Trump at 5 a.m. on the day of the attack? Was it a code?" Also among the texts was a legal argument from Trump campaign aide Joseph Schmitz, forwarded by Jim Jordan, arguing that Mike Pence could unilaterally refuse to count electoral votes for Biden. Jim Jordan was all in on the coup, which is odd because now he's pushing for an assault on democracy, when in the past his policy on assault has been to look the other way. That's all I need. I just need one. You know? Like picking up starfish, throwing them back in the water, because it made a difference to that one. You know? When asked by CNN if he had been in touch with Mark Meadows on January 6th, Mitch McConnell said he had not, but I do think we're all watching, as you are, what's unfolding on the House side, and it will be interesting to reveal all the participants that were involved. XOXO, gossip ghoul. Meanwhile, Senator Joe Manchin continues to be a holdup on President Biden's Build Back Better agenda. He seems committed to tanking, of all things, the package's expanded child tax credit, an extremely popular benefit to families that has already helped lift 3 million children out of poverty this year. So now it's up to Joe Biden and hopefully 3 ghosts on Christmas Eve. Joe, I'm not going to do it. I'm doing it. Joe, it's me, the ghost of Christmas present. Oh, boogity boogity. We've got to stop the 1% of the present to fuck the 99% in the future. And I know what you're thinking. This sounds like, but not exactly like, your colleague Bernie Sanders. And it's not Bernie Sanders. It's not close enough. At best, this is a bad impression of James Adomian doing a good impression of Bernie Sanders. Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, I don't know. It says here, Joe Manchin says Tiny Tim needs to pull himself up by his bootstraps. He's using that crutch as a crutch. Meanwhile, when NBC News asked if he would be open to a proposed measure to carve out voting rights by simple majority, Joe Manchin said, "We're talking about that, talking about everything, the rules, how we make the Senate work better, how can the Senate function in a way that it was designed to function." Manchin continued, "Everything. We're talking about it all. Can morality exist in the absence of free will? How does a materialist account of the brain leave room for consciousness? How long will I hold my party hostage?" Like some really good talks. Anyway. Putting aside your bold progressive agenda to pass a bill to protect voting rights seems like a very cool strategy to make sure Republicans win fair and square. Gotta say it once. I don't like it either. I was going to put that in the company Slack, but it seemed demoralizing. So I saved it for you. Actually, what happened is I said it out loud, and then I said, "Should I put that in the Slack?" And John and Tommy were like, "That's demoralizing." And I said, fine, I'm going to go to the place where I'm in charge completely. This space right here. We're done with Manchin for 2021. That's the last we're going to talk about him for the rest of the year, as far as I'm concerned. Meanwhile, New York's Joint Commission on Public Ethics ruled that former Governor Andrew Cuomo must return approximately $5.1 million in proceeds from his COVID memoir to the state's attorney general, a number which had Andrew Cuomo doing a spit take. I'm talking marinara everywhere. Oh, man. We had a conversation as to whether or not that joke's still allowed. And we decided that it is. We still feel good about that? Yeah, we're going to keep it in. Just to be clear, that's $5.1 million, and everyone who bought the hardcover at its face value has to issue an apology and explanation to their own families. 4 anti-vaxxers were arrested at a New York City cheesecake factory for a criminal trespassing after the group staged a sit-in Tuesday, skipping waiting customers to claim multiple tables at the restaurant. Look, if you want to be unhealthy, craven filth monsters with no regard for your own body, we welcome that. This is the Cheesecake Factory. But you cut the line, so you go to jail. But take this pager, and when your sentence is up, it will buzz. Bring it back to the host counter, and we'll seat you then. They should bottle that feeling when it buzzes. A Florida woman allegedly poisoned her boyfriend with some kind of poison in his drink because he wouldn't shut the fuck up. The defense rests, Your Honor. In a new interview with the Wall Street Journal, Kamala Harris says she and Joe Biden haven't discussed running again. Says Harris, I'll be very honest, I don't think about it, nor have we talked about it. You don't think about it? You should think about it. It is in 2 years and incredibly important. He is old and unpopular, 2 qualities that get worse every day. I don't think about it. Okay. In Barry Weiss's new interview of Kim Kardashian for her Substack, Kim says she considers herself a mix of Democrat and Republican. Said Kardashian, I believe in the rights that Democrats want, but I believe in the taxes that Republicans want. I think it's cool. She's getting a lot of shit for this, but there is not a rich, famous actor that you love that doesn't agree when they're at dinner 100% of the time. You know what I mean? That's just for me to say. That's something I've noticed. Socially liberal, fiscally private jet. And finally, scientists say the shelf holding back Antarctica's Thwaites Glacier could crumble in the next 3 to 5 years, leaving one of the planet's largest glaciers vulnerable to collapsing into the ocean, a catastrophic event that would raise the planet's sea level approximately 2 feet. But on the bright side, some of those unvaccinated cops who moved to Florida will probably drown. Wow. What a joke to end the year on. May God bless your families and drown our enemies. As we close out 2021, it's good to remember where it all started. Huddled, terrified around televisions as hordes of screaming Trump supporters broke into the Capitol building in an effort to stop Congress and Mike Pence from certifying the election. It feels like a fitting bookend then for the January 6th committee to release text messages this week sent to Trump's then chief of staff, Mark Meadows, during the riot, and not the book a man in a Viking helmet wiped his ass with in Nancy Pelosi's office. I'm kidding. None of these people wipe. These text messages, which Liz Cheney read aloud in Congress on Monday, offer a peek behind the conservative mask, which is one of those blood-spattered Uncle Sam masks you see in the Purge, election year. In these texts, we see the truth that despite what bullshit they tell their viewers, Republicans knew in the moment how frightening, grotesque, and dangerous the Capitol riot was for the country. Here to discuss where we were and where we are now are 2 incredible comedians and returning guests. Please welcome Ashley Ray and Alice Wetterlund.
Hi.
What a night.
Wow.
Lovely.
You guys.
Yeah. I love all your blankets.
You are so cute. What is this, Portland? We're going to get an IPA after this?
Yeah.
Come on.
Let's get an IPA at a place that serves food the whole time.
Yeah.
That's a Portland thing.
Yeah,
the
it
restaurants
is.
serve food if they're serving alcohol. That's why it rules.
It's the best.
I'm sorry I made you think about the Capitol riot.
It's been a long time.
It has been
Yeah.
1 year almost.
Almost 1 year since the Capitol riot.
Yeah.
Wow.
What do you get somebody for
Yeah.
an insurrection?
Riot anniversary. The first year
Pepper
is
spray.
paper.
Paper.
I think
Paper spray?
Paper
spray.
spray or
It's
paper.
a spray
Yeah.
adhesive,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And then the second anniversary is wood, specifically a spear or some sort of flagpole,
Stake.
a stake.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For Buffy fans.
So in his new memoir, because all these people have memoirs,
Of course.
Mark Meadows says it was really only a handful of fanatics that took part in the Capitol riot and that the Trump protesters had absolutely no urging from Trump. It seems as though he knows that that's not true, as we have learned from his text. Are you buying a copy of this book for your parents? If not, why not?
I will not. I will not be getting that for my parents. I mean, first of all, my mom just watches MSNBC constantly. I'm sure there is nothing in it she does not know. That is the only thing she ever has on TV. So
I buy my parents books about ships and stuff.
Nice.
So,
no.
Just boats.
Just boats, different types of ships, stuff like that. Art books,
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
And maybe you don't know. I'm not sure if you've consumed some of these ship books.
Ship books.
Is it that all boats are ships, but not all ships are boats, or are all ships boats, but not all boats are ships?
A boats are ships if a ship is if a boat is a seaworthy craft.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
So okay.
And if this glacier melts, we'll need one soon. So
Hey.
okay.
This stage is a boat and a ship if we need it.
And a ping pong table by the feel of it.
Yeah. It's very fun.
There's a bit of a risk element to doing this show in the rain. The wood's warping. It's warping a bit. You can feel it warping beneath your feet. A twinge of danger. A metaphor for the year we've just been through. Not quite afraid all the time, but not quite safe all the time either.
John is
you know
now,
what I mean?
Just enough fear to
Just
make it
a little
fun.
bit.
And John is now quoting from the waiver we all signed before we got up here.
We got them sign those waivers, right? Jokes aside. Got good on waivers? Yeah, we got them sign those waivers. Let's get into it. I'm going to read messages texted to Mark Meadows on January 6th, and you have to guess which conservative broke political kayfabe to send it. This game is multiple choice, and the choices are all terrible. Are you ready?
Ready to go.
Absolutely,
all right.
yes.
I will start with Ashley. Hey, Mark, the president needs to tell people in the Capitol to go home. This is hurting all of us. He is destroying his legacy. Which truly demented pundit sent that exceedingly level-headed message to Mark Meadows? Is it A, Laura Ingraham, B, Steve Doocy of Fox and Friends, or C, Maria Bartiromo?
I want to go Steve. I feel like he'd be very about legacy, even believing Trump has one to be destroyed. That feels right.
Oh, no, it was Laura Ingraham. So while she was sending that text message on January 6th on Fox News, Ingraham was already desperately trying to pretend, which is a fun way to say lie, that the rioters weren't Trump supporters. Instead, she suggested they were Antifa. Said Ingraham, we knew this would happen when you have a huge group of people descending on Capitol Hill, when you have members of the Trump support organizations and Antifa threatening to show up at the same time. We'll learn more to the extent that that happened. I'm getting a sense that there's clearly a big split in the MAGA groups that have come to peacefully protest with whoever is behind this intrusion at the Capitol.
Of course.
They're not likely Trump supporters, she said, and there are some reports that Antifa sympathizers may have been sprinkled throughout the crowd.
Yeah, of course. You know, Antifa supporters love to just hide amongst Trump people. It's like, our favorite thing.
Our favorite thing.
I saw.
Here we go. I mean, it's a friend of mine's favorite thing.
Yes, I mean,
I just love the idea that there are these fucking shapeshifter, brilliant, stealthy fucking Antifa people out there.
I'm not Antifa, okay? But I have friends who are.
Wow.
All right, I got a lot of friends.
Watch your feet, everybody. Names are dropping.
All right, Hollywood. And one of them got a text from Laura Ingraham that day, and they're like, hey, come out to the Capitol. No reason. Please come out. Exclusive interview if you want it. You and a bunch of your friends, maybe? I don't know. Nothing's going on.
You want to come just chill?
Yeah, that's what the text they were getting.
Wow.
Hold some flags or something.
Yeah.
Wow. Follow the money.
Throw some bottles.
Cui bono. This one is for Alice. Next text. Please get him on TV. Destroying everything you have accomplished. I don't know if inciting a riot undermined what Trump accomplished or is, in fact, his one accomplishment, but I do know who texted it to Mark Meadows. Is it A, Brian Kilmeade of Fox and Friends, B, Lara Trump, or C, Rudy Giuliani?
That is A, Brian Kilmeade.
That is correct.
Okay.
Meanwhile, on January 6th, Kilmeade told his viewers, I do not know Trump supporters that have ever demonstrated violence that I know of in a big situation. What a caveat.
Yeah.
big situation.
Yeah, in a big situation, a small situation, sure.
Here's the thing: these people, I love how they don't understand at all what the deal is with Trump. They're just like, "Hey, you're destroying our legacy. Come on, you almost had a perfect presidency up until this moment.
Up until this
is the one moment we almost got to the end." And Trump is like, "What legacy are you talking about?"
He's like, Brian Kilmeade's like, Trump, baby, it's 12 strikes in a row.
Even nothing but net up until this
up until
point.
now.
It's 300 points, not isn't it 13 strikes? Anybody with me?
Someone's
I was talking
approaching
about
the stage.
bowling.
Oh,
I was doing bowling. I see what
I thought
happened.
a bowling expert was approaching the stage.
Yeah,
I see what
was
happened.
like,
That's too many strikes for baseball, but the right number for fucking bowling. Hey, you know what? Get in touch with the rest of this fucking country where we go bowling.
Yeah.
That's where we make deals in Hollywood.
That's where we make
You
Most
coastal
people,
elites.
they think it's golf. It's actually at the lanes.
It's at the lanes, huh?
Knocking pins.
You know, they say the old weird boys club. Next text. Over to you, Ashley.
Okay.
Can he make a statement? Ask people to leave the Capitol. Is that A, Ivanka Trump, B, Sean Hannity, or C, Gretchen Carlson?
I want to say Gretchen Carlson.
It was Sean Hannity.
That was my other
Amazing.
guess.
Well, no, because it is so out of character.
Yeah,
because
it seemed kind of level head, like very just no talk of like just like, hey, can he get on? Can he do that? Come on, say something.
you know there are these studies that show that like if you tell people in a classroom that hey, we assigned randomly a pro and con for this debate,
Yeah.
choose who you think did a better job arguing. Even though everyone knows that the person assigned the argument they disagree with was assigned it randomly, they still dislike that person. They can't help but dislike them for making the argument they don't like. And the same thing happens with like sucking up, right? Like if you tell people that, hey, we're going to have 4 people come in and 3 of them have been paid to compliment you, you can't help but like them anyway.
Yeah.
And I do think that like, even though deep down, like we know that Sean Hannity and Laura Ingraham and Brian Kilmeade, that these people are doing a performance. They truly, genuinely do not think this way. They are playing a character. We can't help but be surprised when they break character behind closed doors. It seems we still believe, we fall for it the same way the Fox audience falls for it, even though we know better.
Yeah. I want to believe. But also, you know, now I think everyone sees I don't read the news.
Yeah. It's like
Okay.
Macy's. It's, believe.
Believe.
You got to believe.
Like Macy's. Believe. Sean Hannity also said, I heard these reports that they might even wear MAGA gear about Antifa. So
Who do you hear it from?
Oh, he also said, do I think there were some people based on the reports that there were people that had staged certain things? Yeah, I think that's true too. He said that this Tuesday. He said that this week.
I want to be that delusional though. I want to hold on to something that hard. I want to believe in something that much.
Well, I think they don't believe though, right? They just like
But they want to believe.
it feels like they believe to the extent that they're like yelling it out their car window on the way somewhere.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, no, it's closed. The thing that they just went to that's actually open.
Just eat it.
Yeah.
Next text. He's got to condemn this ship ASAP. The Capitol Police tweet is not enough. Was that A, Don Jr., B, Eric Trump, or C, Judge Jeanine Pirro? Alice, what do you think?
That's Don Jr.
It was Don Jr.
Okay.
He's very Kendall Roy.
Yeah.
His energy.
That energy was very aggressive.
yeah. It's like
Wow, shit.
Right?
He does have Kendall Roy. They're all
He's got to shut this down ASAP.
they're all Kendall Roy with a Connor finish. You know what I mean?
yeah, dude. yeah, even
You know?
shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like they wrote Succession prior to the Trump presidency. It's not like they like wrote it and then the Trump presidency happened. They wrote Succession after.
Before
So-
or after it.
So
For
after
sure.
this, so they had the art life imitates
Life is like art.
life
Yeah.
is like
I
I
think
think
art
John
is like
said it
life.
best when he said that for the first time, that thing that no one's ever
Yeah.
said.
Life being art.
Yeah. Life.
Yeah.
Sometimes I find that life imitates art.
Yes.
Best way to say it I can think of.
And finally, and either one of you can seal this one.
I mean, I got to get one.
Let's meet the
Like,
minds.
geez,
We'll do
come
this
on,
together.
okay.
We need an Oval Office address. He has to lead now. It has gone too far and gotten out of hand. Is it A, Ainsley Earnhardt?
Okay.
Is it B, Don Jr.?
Okay.
Or is it C, Tucker Carlson?
Gosh, in my deep study of the Trump family, I feel like this sounds very Don Jr.
That is correct.
Thank you. Thank you.
Got it.
This is what Don Jr. actually said before. So he's now texting his dad's assistant to get in touch with his father, whose number he does not have.
Yeah, of course he doesn't have his dad's number.
To say stop the riot. But here's what he said before. I have a message for all the Republicans who have not been willing to actually fight, the people who did nothing to stop the steal. This gathering should send a message to them. This isn't their Republican Party anymore. This is Donald Trump's Republican Party. You have an opportunity today. You can be a hero or you can be a zero, and the choice is yours. But we are all watching. The whole world is watching, folks. Choose wisely. I think he incited an insurrection, if you ask me.
Yeah. I mean, just you reading that got me pumped.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my goodness.
Talking about Kendall Roy, set it to a beat.
Yeah. Like.
Do we have a beat?
Can we have
Do we
a
have a
whole
beat?
world
And
is watching.
John can do
This is
that.
Trump's party.
That would be the end of me. Before we go, I do want to read what so Mark Meadows is getting these plaintive messages from powerful Republicans asking Trump to stop the insurrection. But while that is happening, Mark Meadows, who in his book denies that it really was any kind of uprising of Trump supporters, is also getting terrified messages from within the Capitol. So these texts are coming in at the same time, like Trump has to stop the insurrection. But here are the messages he is getting in real time. We are under siege here at the Capitol. They have breached the Capitol. Hey, Mark. Protesters are literally storming the Capitol, breaking windows on doors, rushing in. Is Trump going to say something? There's an armed standoff at the House chamber door. POTUS has to come out firmly and tell protesters to dissipate. Someone is going to get killed. Mark, he needs to stop this now. Tell them to go home. POTUS needs to calm this shit down. And finally, sent from someone inside the Capitol building, we are all helpless.
Oh.
Oof.
I like the hi, Mark.
Hi, Mark.
That was really courteous.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, howdy, Mark.
Hey, Mark, just circling back on you not letting all these people kill us.
Hey, Mark, haha and thumbs up on your last message I didn't respond to.
Didn't respond, but
just to kind of create some emotional space from
like,
that.
Acknowledge it. I saw you said that. Anyway, Mark.
Haha, thumbs up.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark, adding you to this thread of terrified people all stuck in the Capitol.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Hey, Mark, we started a group chat.
Checking in on ETA of Trump disavowing.
I just saw a middle-aged man crying and calling his children. I believe that person is an Iraq veteran. We need help in here.
Also on for brunch. I also think did Don Jr. not have his dad's phone number? That's what they're saying.
I mean,
everybody's saying he was texting Mark Meadows, but like we don't know because we don't have Trump's phone, so we don't know that he wasn't also texting his dad things like, "Dad."
Yeah. Dad.
Hey, Dad. Sorry to bother you. I know this is like a really stressful day of you trying to overturn the democracy. And again, I really am sorry about what happened at Christmas. I didn't even realize. It got out of hand. And obviously, as you know, I've been really struggling lately because I'm dating a true psychopath who was also married to Gavin Newsom, which just tells you that like this person has been on like a real fucking journey. And I just get this creeping suspicion that she's not with me for me, that she's with me for the family name because of she said it to me. Alice and Ashley, thank you. That was great.